Hey, what's going on, guys? Just got a quick video here for you guys. So, on the table, on the bench I should say, is a Ruger American Predator in 6.5 Creedmoor. I did trade out my AR-10 for this rifle. My AR-10 was chambered in .308. I've always wanted to mess around with 6.5 Creedmoor, and I figured let me do it the cheapest way possible, and that was Ruger American Predator. And first thoughts, not a bad rifle. Could there be improvements? Absolutely, but for a price point of $360, it's kind of hard to beat. I've watched a lot of videos. A lot of my modifications are pretty much based off of 243 Outdoors videos. He does a lot of modifications on his Ruger, and I pretty much copied him. You know, because his setup actually seemed to work, and I really liked what he did, and it made sense and everything like that. So the only other thing I saw was I think I saw another video about how to what another user did to smooth out his bolt, which made sense, but I'm using a different compound, and I feel like I put a little less work into it, and I feel like my results are just as good, if not better. So pretty much just a quick overview. Kydex cheek riser, I have a Tacfire 30 cal muzzle brake, and then on the forend I epoxied it to add rigidity and help stop with the flex. And then I went through with the Dremel and sandpaper and kind of hollowed out the barrel channel there just to ensure I still kept the free-floating barrel going. And I just put a cheapo pivoted, Amazon bipod. No big deal. It will do what I need it to do. I'm not some kind of long-range hunter or precision shooter, but I hope that one day this setup will get me out to 1,000 yards, which should have no problem with that. But anyway, going on. Bolt. So messing with the bolt, you can definitely hear it's got a zip noise. A lot of Ruger owners I've noticed have complained that the bolt is kind of rough. It's zip zip. See if I can, you can kind of hear it there. Now mine was a lot louder than that. And all I did was when I took the bolt out, I took this Wheeler 220 grit lapping compound, and then I just pretty much coated the bolt. So I pretty much took a Q-tip, went all up and down the bolt, and then especially in this groove, see if I can try to make these machining marks pop. You can see, it's kind of hard to see here in the light, but there's a lot of half circles in there. You can see the major one right there, but it seems like the groove, whether the bit itself that was cutting the bolt was, going out, and it's just a lot of chatter marks in there. And I feel like that's my main culprit there, because as I run the bolt, there's like a high and a low spot. And I mean, the whole bolt is smooth, but this groove is definitely rough. So I put the 220 grit, in there, and I ran it for about 20 minutes my first time, and it did help. It really did improve it. And then, just sitting there, you can definitely see inside the action. There are some accelerated wear marks, but if you can get your, your hands on some 220 grit lapping compound or, any type of polishing compound, slab it on there, even coat it, and just run the bolt back and forth, up and down, back and forth, up and down. And, just make sure you check it. Some people freak out when you start putting lapping compounds and stuff like that onto the bolt because of the lugs, and you might get on the lugs and you're going to affect head space, and now it's in your throat and all this other stuff. So just check it every now and then as you run it. Make sure it's not going all over your lugs and stuff like that. I never had any issues. Just kept running it back and forth. Then I cleaned out my action, my trigger. I cleaned all that out real good because that lapping compound will get everywhere. So, the bolt's a lot smoother now, but it's still that zip noise is a little irritating. But is it a deal breaker? No. As long as the gun functions and fires, I can really care less. I was just more concerned about the actual, unlocking the bolt, bringing it back, going home and locking it. That all smoothed out a lot more. The noise I can deal with, and you put a little, thicker gun oil on there on the bolt, and it'll quiet it right down. But yeah, so far, I'm happy with it. I'll probably, try the grit again, and just maybe try to work in a little bit more intervals, see if it eventually quiets down. But if some of you are picky about your bolt and you want it to look pretty and all that other stuff, then go to your local gunsmith. He can jewel your bolt up right away and get it nice and pretty. But I'm gonna go do an official barrel break-in on this tomorrow and shoot some groups with it. I have some Cellar and Bellet, breaking ammo. Nothing crazy, but I'll break the barrel with that, and then I got a couple good precision rounds to throw down range and see what kind of groups I can print with this. Just at 100 yards, just to get used to the gun, get a feel for it. But I'll come back and update you guys with the results. Thanks, guys.